Civico 47 Chef Matteo is joining me today, and we're going to be cooking a beautiful recipe from the restaurant I've been. I love it. It's fantastic in Paddington in Sydney.
Good to hear.
What are we making?
Okay, so we're making some beautiful roasted lamb rump with some capsicum, olives, bit of vinegar, parsley to garnish. It's a beautiful dish.
Very nice. And what I love about this dish is it's simple, and at the restaurant it's a little bit more refined, but this is how you would cook it at home, or how you love to cook it for your family.
We don't want to give away all the tricks from the restaurant.
Exactly.
So we'll make it simple. We'll make it simple.
Fantastic. Let's talk about lamb, and what cut are we using?
Yeah, so we're using my favorite cut of lamb. So this is lamb rump with the cap on. So it's basically part of the leg, and you got, this is the rump, and then you got the cap on, which is this part here, which is a little bit more chewy in a way and firm in texture, but it's got in a good way, but it's got beautiful flavor. A little bit of the fat on top. I know people are afraid of fat and meat, but we'll render this down and it'll make the flavor of the lamb very fantastic.
You've got to see that fat as almost like a little protective blanket to keep everything nice and juicy.
That's it. That's a good way to see it. That's what I'll say.
That's what I'll say too. And some herbs to start with?
Yes, herbs to start with. So if you want to help me out, we're going to start chopping some of these herbs. So we're going to marinate the lamb.
Okay.
So you pick the herbs. I'm going to chop all together so that basically we're going to infuse the flavor a little bit together of the garlic, of the thyme.
And again, it's not a complicated marinade here. It's very simple ingredients that really allows the meat to shine.
You know, sometimes the simple things, they work, and it's all about the flavor, really.
Now, if you couldn't find lamb rump, what other cuts of lamb could you use for this recipe? Yeah,
look, you could use lamb loin. That's a lot more leaner. I much prefer, and I think you can find lamb rump quite.
Yeah, I've seen it at a supermarket now. And don't forget, if you can't find it at a supermarket, go to the local butcher. They're always so lovely, and they'll be able to help you out for sure.
Yes. So that's the garlic already coming out, the rosemary, the flavor. So that's about it. We don't need to make it too refined. So we're going to add salt now, generous salt. The meat, I think everybody knows by now, you want to take the meat out of the fridge before you cook it for, like 1 or 2 hours.
Yes.
Salt, this one is salt flakes, beautiful Murray River salt flakes. So we can do a little bit more than what you would normally think you put.
Yeah, the intensity of salt is very different, and the qualities of salt are very different. So when one recipe calls for a certain amount, just make sure you're tasting to check.
All right, do you mind, Justine, to pass me the olive oil?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So do you want to pour good amount of olive oil? We're going to marinate. Beautiful. All right. And I'm going to add these herbs.
Fantastic.
Just marinate it like that.
It's almost going to form like a little crust.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to put too much because it might get a little bit bitter, but, you know, this is a perfect amount. So now, normally, Justine, I will leave this for 1 or 2 hours to marinate. In this case, we're just going to start cooking it because the marinade will start going anyway. So we start with the fat side down. We don't need to add oil in the pan because the fat will render, of course, and it will create enough fat to cook off.
Fantastic.
Just going to sear it nicely. So while this one is rendering off, we can go with the next step of the recipe, which is the capsicum. If you don't mind helping me peeling this capsicum.
Yes, so what have you done to the capsicum?
So the capsicum, I've done basically char grill them. You can do it in different ways. You can do it in the oven at a very high temperature, like 250. They'll make a little bit of smell, so maybe you can do it on a barbecue as well outside if you have a barbecue. And you just cook them off until the skin goes black like that. And then you put them in a bowl and cover with a little bit of cling wrap, and that will make the skin come off very easily.
Absolutely, and you can see how easy it is to come off. Look at that, just comes off straight away, and it just imparts a beautiful, subtle, smoky flavour.
Absolutely, and I mean, for me, I know a lot of people don't like capsicum, but I love capsicum, and this is my absolute favourite way to have them.
Same.
It could be a dish on its own. You add some feta cheese or some goat cheese, and it's a beautiful salad. Very
nice. It's funny, Matteo, I don't like raw capsicum.
Okay.
But when it's roasted like this, beautiful. All right, let's have a look.
So let's have a look at the lamb. Look at that, see the crust forming a little bit.
All of the fat.
All of the fat is going there. So, I mean, a little bit of it is going to stay there, but most of it will render down. And we're just going to sit it on the bottom side as well. Yep,
fantastic. And then you've got some olives there. So it's going to be a combination of capsicum, olives.
Capsicum, olives. So while the lamb is getting nicely seared on the outside, then we're going to put it on this tray. We're just going to use a rack so that the juices of the lamb, they'll just go down and the lamb doesn't sit in its own juices and it stays nice and roasted flavor. And we're just going to put it in the oven for about probably 15-20 minutes, about 160, 180.
Very nice. All right, I've got a few more of these to do, so we better finish this salad off.
Exactly. The meat has been resting now. We just leave it on this tray while we finish the sauce.
Very nice.
So if you don't mind to add for me some salt, some olive oil, and some of that beautiful vinegar there.
Very nice. And we've just chopped everything together, and I just love the colour.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And like we said before, I mean, this could be a salad or a dish on its own. You don't really need to add anything.
And if you add enough oil, you can leave it in the fridge, submerged in the oil. It's fantastic for on a sandwich too. Yeah. And some vinegar.
Yes, a little bit of vinegar. And I'm just going to rough chop this parsley a little bit.
Very nice. And I really like the idea of resting your meat on a tray so it's not sitting in the fat and the juices. It's a really nice idea.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'll mix that in.
Yeah.
And that salad is good to go.
Yes.
That looks delicious. And let's get on to the meat.
Let's get on to the meat. You ready to see if we've done a good job?
I know you have. I trust you.
Very important, especially with a cut like lamb rump, which can be, like we said at the beginning, a little bit chewy, but in a nice way. We have to cut against the grain.
Okay, little chef's trick there. So slice it that way. Ooh. And are you happy with the cooking, chef?
Yeah, that's pretty good to me.
Pretty good. All right, here we go.
So now we can put it in the plate.
Get rid of that for you.
Like that. And we're just going to put a bit of the sauce on the top. Can just go like that, a little bit random.
And you can serve that with some roast potatoes.
You could add some capers onto this one as well if you like capers.
Oh, that would be a lovely addition.
All right.
Very nice.
Finish with a beautiful drizzle of olive oil.
Ugh.
And that's it.
There you go. You've got roast lamb with char grilled capsicum. It's the simple things that always taste the best. And, you know, I love the little chef's tricks on how to slice.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yep, the little extras there with the vinegar and the capsicum. This is something you can do when friends come over for a lunch on a Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And you know, the good thing about meat, you can cook it before, leave it there to rest, and then if it gets cold, you just flash it back in the oven. That's a trick.
You are a wealth of knowledge, Matteo. Thank you very much.
you.
That is a stunning dish once again.
Thank you.